Listen up, I got a story to tell. I live correct, your knowledge goes as far as the internet. Reminiscing the days when we cherished our intellect. Don't even know our way around, we use GPS. Don't even talk to each other, we rather send a text. Woke up kinda late, I took a shower and did some sets. Had lunch, a chicken Caesar salad with vinaigrette. Heineken sitting on the table, but I ain't sipping yet. Used the bottle top as an ashtray for the cigarette. Wifey said how I look, she just finished getting dressed. Beautiful, she had on my favorite stockings. Fishnet, the television got interrupted. It said this is a test of the emergency broadcast system. Ain't this a mess? Eyewitness news, the cop shot a kid in the neck. Police are trained to kill us, the cops been a threat. When they go to the shooting range, it's such a disrespect. Even the target is black, look at the silhouette. Pap Pole, it ain't even December yet. Listening to the Cocoa Brothers loading the Smith & West. Flew private, but we don't brag just cause we in a jet. Touchdown like Cal Fuller after he intercept. If I don't tell strangers passing by. Ain't no competition, the trapper keep a loose leaf composition. Notebook user conversing with life is on a visit. Attic of Green Haven, he was wildin' but started chillin'. Sent him to a medium, now he up and go on to sitting. No guidance, so at a young age, daughter stripping. Bring the back of the milk cartons back. Father's missing in the 80s, niggas named Mike used to get all the chicken. Michael Jackson, Brooke Shields, Mike Tyson, and Robin Givens had to stick a butter knife in the door. The knob was missing, blood all over the counter inside of mama's kitchen. False alarm. Auntie got 37 dissolving stitches, cut her hand on the broken glass when she was washing dishes. Paid us to leave. Crooked politicians. Brooklyn ain't the same since gentrification. Dog, it's different. Never seen raccoons in Brooklyn. Now they walking limping. Rabies infested. Foaming at the mouth. Saliva dripping. 2020 Porsche 911. Push start ignition. 0 mileage off the showroom floor. The car was driven.
He came into the game and dominated, only to remain underrated the entire time. Eventually he left. They begged him to stay. They never appreciate you until you're gone. Maybe he'll be reincarnated with a vengeance.
I wore hoodies 3X size, banging since the Latin kings in the knee at thighs. Smurder something like Bobby, nigga, GS9. Bring terror to your squad like a TS sign. Back when R. Kelly had the song Fiesta. Did a jukes on the bus, the BX line. In grade school, I never been a reject kind. Pap always got the new Jordans, he dressed fly. Bullshitters couldn't play me with that BS vibe. Put the knuckle check on them during recess time. Haters ask how we doing, tell them we just fine. Hottest thing in the street since the PS5. Used to be nice, I'm still nice, this ain't a throwback. I'm not perfect, and I ain't afraid to show that. If I make a mistake, I wouldn't hesitate to own that. I just say pardon me, like Trump did Wayne and Kodak. You bluffing, you frontin', you bugging. Cheap dudes, keep hustling. You struggling, you a rat, you nothing. Papoose, big strong, 2 cousins. His freedom thrown down the drain, cause he ain't mentally free. Your bro such a slave, acting like you so smart, you know nothing, man. No amount of money could fix a broke fucking brain. Acting like a kid, and it's a cold-blooded shame. Grown men don't even act their own fucking age. From the dark side, I ain't seen no sunny days. Some hold grudges, they carry those to their grave. When you playing CeeLo, it's such a cold-blooded game. We play by the hood rules, those never change. If you not betting, don't stick your nose in the game. Don't be a cheerleader, that's so fucking lame. Let him get away with it, then you chose to get played. If he ass bet you, you either fold or you bang. Niggas be calling me by a whole nother name. The head cracker, we both not the same. If you roll a Brownsville deuce, you on the road to get paid. Most ace out, some niggas throw lucky trades. Quick to poke something, I keep an old bloody blade. Might clap something, I got an old rusty gauge. I don't feel sympathy for no grown man. He gotta put some cash in his own hand. When I got jammed up, I got out my own jam. I had to figure it out. I made my own plan. Women and kids I treat like my own fam. But I don't feel sympathy for no grown man.
Got the Harry from.
I take a break when the weight of the world is sitting on me. Too many difficulties for me to let shit control me. Shit is lonely, hoping, repenting, all of my sins atone me. You feel that pain cause the pain is meant for the living only. Only the real know when the shit is phony. Man, the blind can't lead the blind. Somebody gotta have vision, homie. Got no remorse for these young dummies who come for me. Let the Drake off when these grown babies with young money. They got their hands out for handouts. Taking food out of Rand mouth, I can't vouch. Get your ass off the damn couch and branch out. Instead of you sitting in, niggas stand out. And take your shoes off in this man's house or get stamped out. Nah, no rain, he a grown man. He should throw hands and stand on his own too. Do the shit that they won't do. They look to you because they supposed to. These niggas only men when they get loaded in the Pro Tools. I'll show you.
I don't feel sympathy for no grown man. He gotta put some cash in his own hand. When I got jammed up, I got out my own jam. I had to figure it out. I made my own plan.
When I got jammed up, I made my own plan. I had to figure it out. That's all facts. All right. So we're going to do this last 35 minutes of observation. And I need to share my screen with the platform up. Let me see something. Wait a minute. What's that? Seemed like for some reason the binaries keep going out. Like you got to keep refreshing in order to see the pricing. Kind of weird, but I don't know. Don't know. Not sure why it's doing that. And if I had to guess, I would guess that everyone's platform is kind of doing that right now. So, but let me see if I'm sharing. Yeah, I am sharing. All right. So, as you make your way on, be sure to like and share the video, whatever platform that you're tuned in from. If you're on Facebook, like and share the video and then follow the TeamAlliance page. If you're on YouTube, like and share the video and then subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're on, also turn on the bell notification. That's right, for both the TeamAlliance page and on the YouTube channel. Turn the little bell on so that you get notifications when I'm live. What else? Twitter. Like and share the video and then retweet on your timeline. And all social media links for every platform where TeamAlliance is, which is probably just about all of them. There's only a few that I can think of that I'm not on yet, but I'll make my way there as well. But I mean, anything you can think of: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, of course, YouTube. We have the public TeamAlliance Facebook group. We got Telegram. I posted the link for Telegram in the group chat yesterday, so you guys can subscribe there as well. I'll be using Telegram in the future when I make some additions to what we're doing here on TA. But right now, this is the euro dollar that we're looking at, and I mean it's just a bunch of movement going on. I did see little moments where there was some momentum, couple of moments, but still not the momentum that I would like to see for vertical. Like there were a few instances, but overall it's still kind of in that gray area where it's not enough momentum for vertical and it's too much activity for horizontal. So it's just in the gray area. Back here is where I saw moments for vertical, back in this area. But nothing that would actually set up an actual crossover for an opportunity to come. So what you're kind of seeing the market do is move kind of momentous, but not quite. Like it'll, you'll have one candle that's a bursted or a burst candle, but you're not seeing the continuation where you're seeing multiple candles moving with momentum in the same direction. The candles that you're seeing moving in the same direction are different sizes. Like you see how these are, like I'm looking at red candles right now. You're not seeing multiple red candles. You're seeing ones and twos and threes, and they're different sizes. These are the candles that you want to see continuously, without a doubt, continuously. And you want them to set the crossover up in the direction that the momentum is already present in. So that's what we look for with vertical. And as I mentioned, vertical is just not quite there. It's not quite there. There's not enough momentum and there's not enough continuation presently. So what else we got going on? Let me refresh this page also. Hold on. All right, let me see. All right, let me share this screen back. Where is it? There we go. All right. Yeah, so it looks like it's not doing it now, so that's good. At least the pricing is showing up. All right, cool. Yeah, so like even now, one of the things that I've made mention of many times now about vertical is you want to see one candle covering the distance between strikes. So instead of seeing, you see how you got 3 candles here in the box? You don't want 3 candles in the box when you're looking for vertical stability, because you want momentum to be present. And if momentum is present, the candle will be long. It'll be an extended candle and it will cover the distance between the strikes and more. So that way, when the market positions either right above or right below a strike and sets up during the last minute of the binary, it will position itself based on where it already has its movement and momentum. So if that's the case, if it already has momentum, you'll already see that the candle has covered the span of multiple strikes. So it might be 2 strikes, it might be 3 sometimes. Like if a candle, for example, started up here or up in this area, it would cover the space going down through this strike and this strike sometimes. But even if it didn't cover the entire space going down to the 3rd strike, if it started up in this area and it came down and covered the area going through the strike here, it will position itself somewhere in between this strike and this one. And once it positions itself in between, now it's set up for the crossover going down to the bottom strike. You see? So I know that that's a brief explanation of what we're looking to see, but being mindful of that just helps you to understand how much momentum you actually need to have. And if you're not seeing that, which we're not, because you see there are 1, 2, 3, 4 candles inside of this box. You got 4 candles in the box and we only want to see one. Does that make sense? So it kind of gives you an idea of how far you have to go as far as seeing momentum when you're seeing how many candles are actually moving and positioning in the box somewhere. So it really helps you. Like, the box is a tool not just for horizontal, but it's also a tool for vertical, because it shows you what the market's not doing yet. You see, with all these candles still in the box, the market it doesn't have enough momentum yet, period. So you shouldn't be looking for a crossover, because the crossover is based on the continuation of the movement. That's why it's called the crossover continuation. When I teach this in the training, I explain all of this in detail. And of course, we have examples. I got plenty of videos of actual trades that I've recorded. There are a bunch of videos that are in the chat that students upload, whether they are recordings of their actual trades or recordings of what they observed, right? So with all of this, you get a plethora, which I know about that word. You get a plethora of recordings that you can refer to in order to visually see what I'm saying. So when I speak on this, you'll know from the visual examples what I'm talking about, because you're connecting what I'm saying when I'm on the live to what you visually see in the recordings. Make sense? So bottom line is that, again, this is the perspective for vertical that the training actually teaches you, starting out from horizontal. What do I mean by that? Well, when you come into training, the first thing that you're introduced to is 301, of course, right? Start watching 301 and you start learning and understanding the foundation of how we look at stability in the market, the way we observe the market, and then the way that we wait for the market to stabilize, right? Once you start to get the foundation, now you can take your understanding of stability, and when I explain and talk about vertical, it doesn't confuse you. See, in the past, it was confusing because vertical requires the opposite of horizontal as far as environment, right? What environment is vertical in? It's not in a slow environment, is it? It's in a fast environment, one that has momentum, and not just fast or faster than the slow environment that we want for horizontal, but we want speed. We want a lot of movement. We want a lot of momentum, I should say, because it's not just any type of movement. It's momentum. It's so much force that the market has to stabilize the movement because of how much force is present. So it's not just speed with reversal energy present, which is another actual behavior. If you have reversal energy when speed is present, you'll see the market move very fast in one direction and just as fast in the other direction, either during the same candle or on the next one. You ever see one long blue candle and then you see an equally long red candle on the next candle? That's reversal energy. Reversal energy can also manifest during the same candle. So if it does it during the same candle, you'll have a candle with a long wick, either on the top or the bottom of the candle. Why is that long ass wick there? Because that's how far the market moved and then came back in the opposite direction in the same minute. You see? So all rules still apply. It's not just about speed. It's about how the speed manifests through the behavior of the market. And that's what I call momentum, because momentum is not the same as volatility. Volatility is speed, but there's a lot of different type of movement in the actual speed, mainly reversal energy. So if that reversal energy is there, that's not stability. So we don't just want a volatile market, you see? And right now I'm making reference to vertical. So when people speak about vertical, or they talk about speed, volatility, when you learn vertical perspective through TeamAlliance, it's so much more well defined and so much more niche than just the basic understanding that people have of speed and volatility. Because most people just think of speed and volatility as a lot of movement, and you want a lot of movement, right? Because it gives us opportunity. No, a lot of movement and whip your ass if you don't know what you're doing. See, speed and volatility is not enough by itself. You see, I'm about to go somewhere. It's not enough to just have speed. Oh, I want more speed in the market. I don't like the way Mark trades. He waits for the market to slow down too much. Well, now we're talking about trading in vertical market. Or let me rephrase, trading the market vertically. So now you're confused because you're like, oh, he's trading in speed. Well, your thinking is limited to speed. It's more than that. See, speed is one component of it, but the reason that you'll lose some of your trades is because you don't understand the behavioral aspect. See, speed is not independent of behavior. Aha. See, it's not independent. It don't operate by itself. Well, I prefer faster moving markets. That's great. And when you get caught up in that reversal energy and you wonder what happened, then the next thing for you is to blame your strategy, to blame your signal service, right? Now it's their fault. I don't understand this strategy. The guy told me that this works 96% of the time. Well, the guy told you based on the way that he applies the strategy. But he didn't tell you when the 4% of the losses will come. He didn't tell you that. He don't know. My question is, how do you identify the 4% losses? I know that's too much, right? That's too much. See? So again, once again, what am I going to tell you? Well, you need to study. You need to observe the market more without trading, because what you're doing is you're just taking trades, not understanding why you're actually taking the trades. because your reason for entering is just simply based on whatever the strategy is. So in other words, when the trade sets up, you're supposed to enter. And if that's the limitation of the way that you're trading, that's why you're going to lose. You have no way to protect yourself against that. It's crazy. It's insanity. Do y'all see the price of gas? I know this is a little off topic. The price of gas is crazy right now. I filled up the tank in the truck. Shit was almost $90. I was like, whoa. Hold on. What the hell? Anyway, I forgot what I just was talking about. I don't know why I just started talking about gas just now. Probably because I just gassed up a little while ago. That's probably why. And I saw $90 and I was hurt. I saw $90. I was like, oh, the hell? Yeah, but anyway, so this is funny. It's time to grab that Corolla, huh? For real, get a little. About to get a Neo. They still make those? Remember the Neos? $10 gas, fill the tank up. Crazy, man. Yep. The Chevy was still under 30. I know that feel good. I know right now everybody with a little car is like, yeah, I got them trucks out there, right? All your truck drivers is getting hurt. Let me take a look at something real quick. Hold on. Yeah, see, so like as I'm looking at the movement now, the movement is stabilizing somewhat, but there's still not enough momentum. The momentum is still not there. And what will happen when you lack momentum is when the market is in the process of stabilizing, because there's lack of momentum, reversal energy will still present itself. It'll just present itself on various levels and to various degrees. What momentum does, momentum suppresses reversal energy altogether. When you have enough of momentum, it stabilizes the movement because there's too much force present for the market to reverse as it's moving in one direction. You see? That makes sense, right? Yeah, man, $90, man. $90. I'm like, yo, this is $100 for gas. I mean, thankfully it lasts a long time because the tank is pretty big, but still. Shit, I remember when I used to put $5 in my gas tank when I was a kid. $5. $10 filled it up. Some of y'all don't remember that. $10 used to fill your tank up. Then as I got older and I started seeing people at the gas station with trucks, I'm like, yo, $65? And this was back then. Now I'm looking at people. I leave how somebody just left and you see how much they paid? I'm seeing big numbers all over the place. 75, 65, 90. That's how I know who drove what. Like, yeah, you had a truck. 96. You definitely had a truck. Let me come back over here. So Bilal is asking, Are small wicks okay whenever you're trading, or there should be absolutely no wicks at all? Well, you'll never have a time where there's absolutely no wicks. There will be wicks somewhere on, a candle or two in the series where you're looking. There are times where there's so many candles that don't have wicks, it's as if none of the candles have wicks. And that's kind of what we look for. We just want the dominance of the right behavior to be there. So the fewer candles we're seeing with wicks on them, the better. But don't drive yourself crazy looking for all candles to not have any wicks, because, that very rarely, if ever, will happen. But you will have enough candles not having wicks to know that the market is stable enough for what it is that we want to do. So then you just apply the rest of the protocol at that time and wait for the market to present you with the actual trade. Let me see. All right, Jay. Does momentum become a condition, or is it more of a short instance in the market? Momentum definitely can become a condition. It's not something that just happens once or twice and then it's over. Momentum is when the market has the element of force in it, and you'll see it manifest on the chart because of the length of the candles. You'll just see big, long, continuous candles when you have enough momentum. Remember that the market transitions, so you'll see the market show instances of different size candles, and when you're seeing that the candles are not long enough, you know that you're not quite there yet. Right here's a good example. If you take this area now, you see earlier how I showed there were like 3 or 4 candles in the box at once. Now look, you got one candle here. This one is 2. 1. This one is just this one in there. So you see how the candles are getting longer? The distance of the moves is becoming longer or wider. There's more distance in the moves. And as this continues to happen, what you'll start to see eventually is only one candle in the box at a time. It'll be just one. Of course, in different areas on the chart. So you'll be moving the box up or down relative to where the candle ends up being positioned. But you'll see that there's only one candle in the box, or a part of one candle in the box, and then it continues into the next candle. Like here, there's one candle in the box here and one candle in the box here. And we're positioned kind of towards the middle. So it's bouncing around in here. Now you got this one candle in the box here. Now you got another candle. You see. So you see how when it slows down, you'll have more candles remaining in the box at once. When the market is speeding up and building up momentum, you'll have the market have fewer candles inside of the box. So for example, like if I move this up here, when there's a lot of momentum, this candle will come up into this box and it'll come up near the top because there's that much momentum present. And that's what you want to see. You see how it's positioned. Let me zoom in. Right now, this candle is positioned underneath this strike. If you had momentum, the market starting out under the strike is exactly what you would want to see if the market is coming from down going up. So it would show that the market got here because it came from under somewhere. So for example, this candle would probably be long coming down from this strike. So you'll have one candle going through this strike, ending up here. Then this candle would start here and it would continue to move up. It would set up and cross over this strike and probably end up here where this strike is. So you would only have 2 candles covering 4 strikes, because this one would cover from the bottom here through this one and end up here. So that's damn near 3 strikes. Then this one, if it continues in the same direction, it will position itself under here, cross over this one, and then end up here. So altogether, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 strikes covered by 2 candles. And when you see that, that's how you know that the momentum is there, because the market will position itself under or over a strike, go through it, and then proceed to the next strike. Does that make sense? So to set up or position itself under, kind of like what this one did. This one was under right here, briefly, very slightly underneath this strike. If there was a lot of momentum present, it would bust right up through this strike and go and approach this one. So when you're seeing that the market is starting to build up that momentum, it'll start kind of looking similar to this, but it'll be even more movement. This candle will push all the way up to the top of the box and probably through it. That's the amount of momentum that we want to see. So during the transition periods, you'll see the market build this up. And the way that you'll see it build up is by seeing fewer candles in the box simultaneously. Like this one, if there was more momentum right now, this one would push up through the top. It'll go up through it, through the strike. If it had a lot of momentum, it'll go through this and it'll end up here somewhere. And that's what we want to see when we have vertical perspective waiting for momentum. Like you see it doing it now, it's building it up. Because you see it's not fully there yet. Like the momentum is not just pushing it like pow. It's slowly, gradually moving. It did that for the last 2 candles. For the last 2 minutes, it's been gradually moving, right? This is how the market builds up momentum. So it's just like everything. The market doesn't just turn on and off like a light switch. So in order for momentum to become a condition, the market has to build it up. And the visuals help you to see how the market builds it up. It builds it up by there being fewer candles in the box at the same time. These candles start covering the distance of the box, like we're seeing now. You see how this one started right up here at the top of the box, and now it's pushing down. When we have the momentum that we want to see, this will push all the way down through this and keep going. And what happens when you have enough momentum, when the market positions itself relative to a strike, the continuation candle sets up the next movement in the existing direction. And that's why dominance is important, because when the market has dominance of the momentum that we want, and there's so much of it, eventually it positions in front of a strike, and that's going to be the strike that sets up the trade. Because you know what the behavior is. The behavior is momentum and push. Momentum, push. Momentum, push. When you keep seeing the candles push through the strikes, and for purposes of the visual, you keep seeing the candles push through the box. If you put your box up and you keep seeing, look at that, candle all the way through. Look at the next one, candle all the way through. That's how you know. That's the momentum that we want to see. But in the interim, the market builds that up. So it doesn't just like you snap your finger and it happens. It gradually builds up that momentum. And you start to see and understand how it does it by seeing how the candles are actually forming relative to the box. You want to see only one candle in the box at a time. Like if I just keep moving this across, it looks like just one at a time. Just watch this. That's one. That's one. One. Look at this. Look at this. One. One. Now they're all in the box one at a time. Eventually, you'll do like that, and it'll be this candle, it'll be at the top, or it'll be above it, and it came through the top and it ended up down here. You understand? It came through the top and ended up down here, meaning it pushed through the entire box. I think the market just closed. Is it 4 o'clock? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, this was good though, because I wanted to come on and show y'all. I didn't know that the market was gonna do this, but that's just how it be. So this was excellent because I got to actually show you visually how the market will, build up momentum. It's not something that just happens out of nowhere. It builds up momentum the same way that the market slows down and builds up range, right? I for purposes of vertical, we won't say disrespect the strike. We do want to see the candles one at a time push through the strike. Yes. Because we wanted to push through the strike and stay. So when it pushes through, we wanted to stay there. That's how the crossover becomes your best friend when the market positions itself. Because you know that the behavior is already there. If the market is pushing through the strikes and remaining instead of pushing through and then coming back, and now you got a wick in the box. So you don't want to see a long wick in the box. You want to see a long candle through the box, and then you want to see the next candle be a continuation of that. So wherever that was, in other words, if that was up, that continuation candle, you want to be up in the same direction. But the market can only do that with enough momentum. So this was excellent. Actually, that was actually perfect because I was able to show the visual because the market was doing it a little bit just now. And if you look at how the market was setting that up, you did have instances of where it did do that. Like if I take the box and move it somewhere else, and I don't know where the strikes were exactly, but I'll take a guess, for example, 109.11. So this was probably where one was. Right there, 109.1. Yeah, right there. So if you had at the time this, for example, you see how this candle starts above the box, pushes through the box, ends up underneath the box. On the next candle, however, it pushes down, reverses, and comes back up into the box. That right there is letting you know that the reversal energy is still there. So the continuation didn't take place. Because if the continuation would have taken place, the movement would have continued lower. And it would have just been in a new box, meaning that the box would be here. And this would be a red candle that started in the box and pushed down and through the box. You see? Kind of similar to how this one is set up. This one came through the box, ended underneath the box. This one set up underneath the box, and it ended underneath the box, but there still was not enough momentum. See how it just moved here and stopped? So you see instances of it when the momentum is not fully in yet. And that's kind of how you just wait. It's like you'll see it and then you'll wait. And, for example, that reversal right there is letting you know, the reversal energy, there's reversal energy in this speed. So there's not enough what? Momentum, because momentum will suppress the reversal energy. So instead of it coming down and coming back up, it comes down and it stays down and it continues on because there's that much momentum present. This is very good, actually. This is excellent. Yep, this is excellent. I mean, all through here, you can see there it just wasn't enough momentum that was sustainable. Even the fact that the candles are not just long all the way through consistently, like they're just not long. You got one long, maybe two. Then the other ones are mediocre or they're smaller, right? So this is kind of more so what you want to see. This. And don't get in your head, oh, well, that's a trend. No. It's not just about being a trend. It's trending, but there's a reason that the market is just continuously moving down here because there's momentum there. Momentum is pushing it down and keeping it down when it moves somewhere. But there's still not enough momentum because when you have the true momentum that we want, it'll do this and all of the candles will be long. You see how you still got smaller candles in here? When the momentum that we're looking for comes, these candles will be long and they'll stay long. So, it's a learning process. You're learning how to see all of this. Look at these long candles. This is more like it. This is more like it. You see this? Look at this continuation. You see that? That's more like it. So when you keep seeing instances of momentum, that's how you know that the momentum is building up and it's becoming enough so that now when it sets up a crossover, that crossover is going to be where your trade sets up and how your trade sets up. So, yeah, this was good, though. This was a very good observation. Let me come over. Yeah, absolutely. The light bulb coming on. And this is fine. This is fine. That's fine. You need more rocks than marbles in both the momentum and stability. Ask yourself what is dominant. Coffee and Charts, Volume 52. Yes. Yes. I like when you refer back to old volumes. Because y'all need to watch that now. Well, because whatever I said in there, Melanie bringing it up now and it's relevant. So y'all check out Volume 52. Elianta is asking, is the protocol the same for vertical as it is for horizontal? The protocol is the same because it's environment, behavior, and then the way that we enter or the parameters. What's different is the way that we enter. Of course, you're not going to be able to enter the same way in a market with momentum that you would be able to enter in a slow market. The market is doing way more and is moving much faster. So you have to learn how to see what the timing is, meaning that when that market is about to cross over, the way that we look at option pricing is different in vertical because the option pricing will move before the actual market does. Or let me rephrase that. The option pricing will reflect the movement that the market is doing before you see the actual candles move. So on the chart, visually, the candle may not have even moved or crossed over yet, but you see option pricing reflecting all of the momentum that's there. And that's the tool that you have to use, is option pricing. I think I talked about this either in training, or there's a coffee and charts or an observation where I discussed that in more detail. But it's observation. Just like with horizontal, we observe, and you look at option pricing and you look at the indicative movement, but the most important aspects is actually the position, because the position is what sets up how option pricing will either be seen or not seen. Many times with horizontal, you don't see option pricing. It'll be gone. So you have to rely on the market being in position. And if everything lines up, parameters are met, then you click in whether you see option pricing or not. Because what will happen is you'll get filled, because the option pricing does not always show the actual orders that are there. But it doesn't mean that orders are not there. Make sense? And that is very different from what goes on with vertical. Because with vertical, there's so much momentum present that the option pricing is trying to keep up with it. So you'll see option pricing move first, because the algorithm on the platform is electronic. It's computers and stuff. It's trying to keep up with all of the momentum and the movement that's there. So you'll see option pricing reflect what the market is doing, right? But you're seeing it on option pricing first. So it's not that option pricing is showing you what the market's going to do. The market's already doing what it's doing. Option pricing is just the tool that you're using to see it. Because by the time you see the candle move, the option pricing has already adjusted. See, the algorithm can't do both at the same time. So we got to use one or the other. What it chooses to use is the option pricing. How do I know that? I know that through observation. I know that through studying. If you're observing on the platform, you'll see that for yourself. Many of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, because at first it confused you. You were like, wait, I thought we were supposed to be looking at the candle and the indicative. By the time I looked at the candle and I waited for the +1, the option pricing was gone. Right. Exactly. Because you see it reflected in option pricing first. That's the difference. But anyway, I'll talk about that in more detail. Probably when I do another training on it. I'll do another training on vertical at some point. I don't think we really need one, but I'll just do one just for the hell of it, just so that it'll be, I guess, a refresher of stuff that we covered already. But the most recent one that I've done in the playlist, it really did an excellent job of explaining both and how they are related. You know, so it doesn't have to be something that's confusing to you at all. Like, oh, I'm confused by vertical. You don't have to be confused by vertical at all. You don't even have to do anything with vertical. But I go through vertical because it's still a perspective that we see by using the TA process. We see it. How do we see it? Because we know what stability looks like. Stability manifests in slow and fast markets. So why would we not? Right? So if we can see it, then we can apply the process to it. And that's why we do both. But really, we're not doing both at the same time. We're doing either or. Good question. Reversal isn't just limited to wicks. It's also full candles going in different directions. Yes. Yes. You ever see candles, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red. What's that? The candles may not have any wicks on them. One is blue, next one's red. The next one's blue, next one's red. Next one's blue, next one's red. No wicks on any of the candles. Is that reversal energy? Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you're seeing that, it's something that you have to be aware of, but it really is a good thing because what's required in vertical is not that. Like you need enough momentum to continue the existing position that the market's in. Meaning, if it's a blue candle, the next one needs to be a blue candle. Or let me not say that. It doesn't need to be a blue candle, but if there's enough momentum, the next candle will be blue too. If there's reversal energy, the next one could be red. But if it's red, if it was positioned for where your crossover was going to be, that's good because it didn't cross over, did it? What it did was it positioned right before the crossover, but it came back the other way. So you know that that's not your setup. There's no trade there for you. So you see how knowing how to actually enter based on the behavior and the environment that you're in, that's the key to ending up in the right trade. And that's what we do successfully in both perspectives. We do that well in horizontal and we do it well in verticals as well. See, the crossover is powerful, but the crossover works so well because of what we know about momentum and stability in the fast environment. That's why the crossover works. Because what it means is that market positioned itself above or below the strike, the next one, and there's so much force in the market, it crosses over the next one. It crosses over the next strike with the same existing force and momentum that's already there. And with the same positioning, meaning that if the market was already heading in one direction, it continues in the same direction with the same force and momentum that it already has, right? Basically, the move and the move hold lasts for more than one candle due to the momentum push not being finished yet. Correct. Correct. That's a good way to think about it. That's a good way to think about it. When the push is there, the push is what's dominating the market. The reason that the continuation happens is because of the fact that that's the domination of the movement right now. That's what's dominating. And that's exactly what we want. Because if that's what's dominating, then that produces the outcome that we already know. We already know what's going to happen. So it's not even that you're predicting something. You're going with the flow of something. That's the difference. So instead of going against that, we figured out how to actually align ourselves with that. And that's how the continuation, the crossover, brings us right into that trade. And you guys have been in those trades where you entered, and I mean that candle just moved, and it damn near moves off the chart. It's like, damn, you don't even see the market no more. It's always down somewhere if it was a sell. And you win the trade by a landslide. Market had no chance of coming back at all. because there's that much momentum. Y'all have been in those trades. If y'all look in the group chat, look at some of the recordings recently that have been posted. People that posted those. And you're looking like, wow, that was nice. Yeah. Hell yeah, it was nice. So your job is learning how to recognize when that's about to happen. And it's not hard to do. Because what we're doing really is eliminating everything else. So until we see it, we don't see it. Right? And we know that until we see it, we don't do anything. So what are we really doing? We're just observing and waiting until it happens. So it's something that happens. It takes place on its own. It's not that we're making it happen. The market does it. But because we're in alignment with the market, we know that the market is doing it. And that's why this is TA. Yep. It's good shit, right? Good shit. Yeah, these were excellent questions. Very, very good questions. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. And yes, yep, opposite layers. So did anyone have any other questions before we get off? Very good questions. Yep. Yep. It's the reason that we can talk this shit. Yes, indeed. All right. So that should do it, man. That should do it. I wanted to make sure that I came on one more time for the week. And this was a goodie. And I love these because I don't plan, like I never planned this. I when I came on, I was like, I want to talk about vertical. I said that in my head. And that just so happened to be what the market was showing. That it was attempting to transition into. So that was a very good visual explanation of how it transitions into it, right? Because you need to know, all right, so market gradually makes its way into momentum. Yes. The same way the market gradually slows down into range, right? So that's what it is, man. Yep, that's what it is. All right, y'all, so you know what it is. So this is this is Coffee and Charts, volume 63. In the bag, man. This was awesome. Yeah, this was real good this week. So next week, I'm looking forward to doing the same thing, if not even more, observations throughout the week. I think we did 3 this week. So that's good. And they were all fire. So this is a good way to end it. All right, y'all. So I'm out, man. Y'all know what it is. Mark for the TeamAlliance. I will see you guys on the next one. Love, peace, and soul. All right. Deuces. Dom the Marco. Dom the Marco.